What if everything you know about the Alamo is a lie? Tonight we exhume a forbidden truth buried for 187 years, not by accident, but by those who won. One man walked out alive from that slaughterhouse. His name was Joe Travis. What he saw will shatter the myth. Bayonets, burning bodies, and a secret so explosive it could rewrite history. Stay until the final second. The censored eyewitness account starts now. Folks recall the Alamo as bravery's sign, yet the survivor of its end named it a killing floor. For 187 years, a single story stayed hidden, not lost to years, but hidden on purpose. Joe Travis, enslaved man of Colonel William Barrett Travis, didn't just see the bloodshed, he felt it. The Mexican blade that cut his side, the reek of flaming American dead, the precise words Santa Anna spoke, pledging to attack Washington. This isn't the cleaned-up story from your classroom. This is raw witness, gore, gunpowder, and treachery from the sole person who walked away living. Travis's last deed, knifing a Mexican general while dying, Jim Bowie's corpse, chopped like butcher's meat, and Davy Crockett. He dragged 24 foes to doom with him. They soaked the dead with oil. A few chuckled while they burned. This evening, the forbidden facts spread wide. What truly occurred when the final Texian dropped, and why the winners aimed to mute Joe Travis always. The fallen don't deceive, and I won't either. Yet before we start, remember to like and sign up to our channel to aid our group. We defenders had been ground down to nothing by endless days of watchfulness and backbreaking effort. On the night before that critical Sunday, every person worked far into darkness, our tired bodies sinking into sleep just hours before the charge, lookouts, and everyone except the captain whose keen yell broke the quiet. 3 sentries stationed outside the fort likely shared this deadly rest, since no alarm cry sounded. The foe's metal hit home silently, fast, and cruel. I rested in bed in my master's room when the noise erupted. Colonel Travis jumped up, gun ready, blade bright on his belt, and yelled for me to come. I followed, grabbed my own firearm, and chased his wild run. Travis scrambled onto the wall, voice rough as he bellowed to his soldiers, "Gather here, boys! The fiends are upon us. We'll greet them with fury and lead." A burst came from his gun. My own blast answered it. But I hardly cleared the powder haze when Travis stumbled, hit badly. He sagged against the inner wall, fighting to stand, his blood soaking the dirt where he sat. 2 times they raised their ladders, 2 times pushed back by frantic men, though I barely saw it. When my master dropped, I hid in a supply room, later firing shot following shot through its slot, even as the waves smashed the walls. On their 3rd try, the attackers climbed unopposed, pouring into the yard like some unstoppable flood. What came next was slaughter, simple and savage. Men wrestled close, musket butts breaking heads, knives slicing stomachs, pistols pushed to chests, and fired near contact. No mercy offered or asked, only the brutal animal job of staying alive, until the last Texian heir was gone. Colonel Travis, hurt and leaning on the red ground, still gripped his sword when General Morris walked by. The Mexican soldier swung his weapon down, a death blow, but Travis blocked the strike with fading power and shoved his own blade deep into the general's belly. Both men fell then, tangled in death's grip. It was my master's last stand. The small group of Americans still on their feet retreated to whatever cover the failing walls gave, battling on until just a sickly man named Warner was left. He threw down his gun, begging for kindness. The troops spared him, but when Santa Anna came himself, he coldly commanded the man shot. I heard the gunfire from my hiding spot. About Jim Bowie, they claim he shot his pistol through his sick room door until he expired. When the foe found him, his form lay slashed almost past knowing. Davy Crockett and a small band of his friends were found in a pile, circled by 24 Mexicans slain. A dark proof of their grit. The ladies and blacks inside the fort, me among them, were largely saved. Just one woman died. A stray bullet hit her as she ran past the big guns. After the fighting stopped, officers walked through the ruin, yelling for any blacks to step out. I came forward, shaking. "Here's one," I shouted. 2 troopers rushed at me. One fired his musket. The ball tore into my flank. The other stabbed with his bayonet, the point scratching my bones. I believed myself finished until Captain Berrigan stepped in, shouting commands to halt them. When the haze faded, the Mexicans saved most of us blacks, plus a few of their own females, including the wife of some doctor and her sister, a Miss Navarro. Both were taken to their father, a Don Angel Navarro, in Bexar, guarded. Mrs. Dickinson, widow of the lieutenant, and her child were also saved, though I learned later they were led across the lines into Texas under a ragged white flag. Once the killing ended, Santa Anna ordered his army into a hollow box. He marched to the middle and ranted at them with sharp moves, his speech cutting like a knife. The men yelled back, their shouts heavy enough to smother the dawn light. The general seemed to me a thin, tall man, dressed plainer than any leader I knew. Just a common wool coat, no badges or show to say who he was. Like one of the Methodist preachers, I said to the Mexicans when they made me tell about him. They hauled me to Bexar later, kept me there for days. One time they marched me out to stare at their army's big show, lines of foot soldiers and horsemen covering the field, their flags flapping like buzzard wings. A mocking captain boasted they counted 8,000, but any fellow who'd walked that land knew different. The ground they'd gathered on was all ditches and thorny brush, hardly able to hold half that many. Santa Anna himself grilled me in a dark room stinking of powder and fear. His eyes dug into mine as he asked about Texas, how many fighters we'd gathered, if more Yankee troops were coming to help. "Will more arrive?" he barked, stalking like a trapped beast. When I faltered that I knew nothing, he sneered and stood straight. "It means nothing," he stated. "I have forces sufficient to raise my banner in your Washington city." His voice went cold, as if the thought itself was a dark joke. Later, I looked through a gap in the wall as Mexican soldiers stacked our dead, Travis Crockett the rest, into a terrible mound. They poured oil over the bodies and lit them. The smoke twisted black against the heavens, bearing a smell that stuck on my clothes for days. Some of the men giggled as they threw broken wood to feed the fire. Others made holy signs and looked away. Joe Travis's telling lived. But the puzzles it stirs? They flamed fiercer than Santa Anna's bonfire. Why did Santa Anna save Joe, only to almost end him right after? Why wipe Travis's last brave stand from the records? And why did the Mexican army boast their size, unless they dreaded the world learning how near the Alamo came to standing? Type below. Who truly lies under the Alamo shade? This isn't over. It's the opening word, and somewhere the facts remain waiting. The flames died down, but the lies kept burning. Joe Travis saw what they tried to erase. Now it's your turn. What piece of this buried truth shocked you the most? Was Santa Anna truly headed for Washington, or was it all bluster? And who do you think is really buried in the Alamo's shadow? Type your theory right now in the comments. The most explosive answers could change history. Don't scroll away. Your voice belongs in this fight for the truth.